In this video, I decided to share with you the open-world games I've already played. And in my opinion, they're essential if you enjoy this genre. And of course, this video reflects only my personal opinion. You have every right to disagree with my list. And if you want to add a game you really enjoyed, just say it in the comments below. Welcome everyone to Setup 01. Today, we're going straight to the point, talking about the best open-world games you need to play. So grab your popcorn and get comfortable, because the video has only just begun. Number 1, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The Assassin's Creed franchise has a lot of titles. And while I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Origins, ancient Egypt in that game is simply incredible. Pyramids, deserts, lively cities, and Bayek's story is the kind that truly hooks you. But the one I'll recommend here is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This game takes everything Origins did well and pushes it even further. Ancient Greece is full of detail, with a massive map of islands to explore, insane naval battles, and environments that go from the busy streets of Athens to remote villages by the sea. The combat is more dynamic, the abilities completely change the way you fight, and the choice system makes a real difference in the story. It's awesome. This is the kind of game that gives you total freedom to play your own way, and every single minute in it is worth it. And that's why I highly recommend this game.
Odyssey, across the mountains and the seas. Remember, the fate of Greece journeys with you.
The next game on the list is not exactly an open world in the traditional sense, but the feeling it gives you is very close. We're talking about Dying Light and its expansion, The Following. You get huge maps, the freedom to explore, and gameplay that constantly pushes you to keep moving, or better yet, running and jumping through every corner. The story is intense, the parkour movement is addictive, and the combat against the infected is brutal, especially when night falls and everything becomes way more terrifying. And The Following adds an entirely new, massive map, with vehicles to explore and a rural atmosphere that completely changes the vibe of the game. If you enjoy action, exploration, and a touch of horror, this is a package I recommend a lot. Even though it's not a true open world, the sense of freedom here is enormous.
Get this done.
Now let's talk about a different kind of Far Cry. One that really surprised me. Far Cry Primal. It's not the typical modern shooter from the franchise. Here, we go back thousands of years in time to the Stone Age. You don't have firearms, but instead spears, bows, and clubs. You need to hunt, gather resources, and survive in a wild world full of rival tribes and dangerous animals. The map is huge, with dense forests, caves, and open plains that make you want to explore every corner. One of the coolest features is the ability to tame animals and use them as allies, from wolves to saber-toothed tigers. This completely changes the way you play and makes the experience truly unique within the series. If you enjoy survival, exploration, and a different take on the open-world formula, Far Cry Primal is a game that's definitely worth checking out.
Other wildlife, great cats stealthily eliminating enemies, and bears causing mayhem in combat. Some animals can also be ridden, granting Takar mobility in battle and across this great expanse of land.
Now it's time to talk about one of the most beautiful worlds ever created in gaming, Ghost of Tsushima. Here you play as Jin Sakai, a samurai who must defend his homeland from the Mongol invasion. But to do that, he has to let go of the code of honor and adopt stealthier tactics. And that creates one of the most memorable journeys I've ever played. The map is absolutely breathtaking. Fields of flowers, forests with leaves blowing in the wind, snow-covered mountains. Every corner of the island of Tsushima feels like a living painting. And it's not just about beauty. Exploration is rewarding, with hidden temples, epic duels, and secrets all over the place. Combat is sharp and precise, switching between cinematic sword fights and stealth attacks. The soundtrack and the Japanese setting make the immersion feel complete. If you enjoy action, an engaging narrative, and an open world that invites you to lose yourself in it, Ghost of Tsushima is simply a must-play. Continuing the list, let's talk about one of the most creative open worlds I've ever seen, the Horizon franchise. It all started with Horizon Zero Dawn, which introduced us to Aloy and this post-apocalyptic universe where giant animal-like machines rule the Earth. The game has a massive map, filled with different biomes, an exploration that keeps you hooked for hours. But then came Horizon Forbidden West, and everything became even bigger and more beautiful. New areas, like swamps, tropical beaches, and underwater ruins, were added to the world. Movement became smoother, and battles gained new weapons and abilities. The story also goes deeper into the past and the origins of the machines, making it even more engaging. If you enjoy open worlds rich in detail, with strategic combat, and a narrative that grabs you from beginning to end, this is a duo that's absolutely worth playing.
Until it destroys us all. There's nothing I wouldn't do to save this world. No depth I won't explore.
The next game on the list is Like a Dragon Ishin, a game that mixes intense action with a deep dive into Japanese history. Here you take on the role of Sakamoto Ryoma, a legendary figure during the Bakumatsu era in the 19th century. In this game, the map isn't as massive as in some other open-world titles, but the sense of freedom is huge. You can explore Kyoto, take part in side activities, get involved in mini-games that I found really fun, and even help locals in small side stories that bring the world to life. Combat in this game is one of its strongest points, allowing you to switch between swordplay, hand-to-hand combat, gunplay, and even a hybrid style that combines the two. I really enjoyed this game, and I highly recommend it. Because if you enjoy action, drama, and a strong dose of Japanese culture, Like a Dragon Ishin will definitely surprise you. It's a game worth giving a chance. Continuing with our list, now it's time to recommend Mad Max. This is a game that may have gone unnoticed by many people, but it delivers one of the most immersive post-apocalyptic experiences I've ever played. Here, you take control of Max, wandering through a massive desert, trying to survive and build the ultimate car to face gangs and the many dangers the game throws at you along the way. The map is huge and full of areas to explore, from sandy plains to scavenger strongholds and territories dominated by enemy factions. It's a game that will make you lose track of time. And interestingly, despite its chaotic atmosphere, it can also be very relaxing to play. Combat mixes brutal hand-to-hand fighting with insane vehicular chases, using harpoons, explosives, and pure aggression. So, if you enjoy action, exploration, and an open world that breathes survival, this is a game that definitely deserves a chance. And it will probably hook you more than you expect.
Steal what little you have left. But you still have what it takes. Defeat your enemies and reclaim the life they stole. You will survive. Because you are Max.
The next game on the list is one that really left a mark on me. It mixes first-person shooting, survival, and cinematic storytelling in a unique way. And we're talking about Metro Exodus. Here, you leave the claustrophobic tunnels of Moscow and set out on a journey across the surface, traveling through devastated regions in search of a new home. The game is not exactly a traditional open world, but it offers large, semi-open areas to explore, each with its own weather, dangers, and stories. It's the kind of game that made me lose track of time, simply because it's that good. Combat is intense and constantly makes you think twice before wasting ammo, and the weapon customization system is deep enough to adapt to your playstyle. Between missions, there are quieter and more human moments that make the journey feel even more special. I really enjoyed this game, and I highly recommend it. Watch Dogs 2 is one of those games that really surprised me, and of course it had to be on this list. In Watch Dogs 2, you play as Marcus Holloway, a young hacker in a vibrant San Francisco full of possibilities. The map is large and full of detail, with unique neighborhoods and several ways to get around, from sports cars to drones and even gliders. The freedom in this game is huge. You can hack into systems, control devices, and create chaos just for fun. The game manages to be packed with action, while at the same time feeling relaxing, whether you're exploring the city or just enjoying its beautifully designed visuals. I really enjoyed Watch Dogs 2, and I highly recommend it, especially if you like open-world games with creativity, charismatic characters, and total freedom.
By the shadows of dark dance to the coffin, I'm a fellow with melanin, suspect of a felony, with black rock in my law, feds checking my melody.
This is one of those games that truly deserved a sequel, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We're talking about Days Gone, a game that really took me by surprise and ended up becoming one of my favorites. Here, you play as Deacon Saint, John, a biker trying to survive in a world devastated by a pandemic that turned millions into violent creatures known as freakers. The map is huge and varied, with dense forests, abandoned towns, and long empty highways. Your bike is practically your best friend. Taking care of it is essential. Combat is intense, especially against massive hordes of freakers, but there are also quieter moments that add depth to the story. It's one of those games that made me lose track of time because it's just so engaging. I really enjoyed Days Gone, and I highly recommend it, especially if you like action, suspense, and a good dose of drama.
The world of Days Gone is that it's dangerous. It comes for you all the time. It never stops. But so long as you have your drifter bike, you might just survive.
In the end, I decided to add a bonus game, because there's no way I could leave out The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is the direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, one of the most acclaimed games of all time, and it managed to do something that seemed impossible: expand an already massive world even further. Here, freedom is total. You can explore not only the surface of Hyrule, but also the floating islands in the sky, and a vast, dark underground world. The physics and crafting system is one of the most creative I've ever seen, allowing you to build vehicles, weapons, and even crazy machines to solve challenges or simply have fun exploring. The sense of discovery is constant. There's always something new on the horizon: a hidden shrine, a clever puzzle, or an enemy ready to test all your skills. It's the kind of game that makes you lose hours without even noticing. I really enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom, and I highly recommend it, especially if you love open worlds that encourage creativity and exploration in every detail. And that wraps up my list of the best open world games I've played and truly recommend. I know many great titles were left out, but they might appear in another video in the future. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these games have you played? Which ones would you add to this list? And is there any game you think should have been included, but wasn't? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.